at our systems as well as conduct a mock accreditation exercise to test the integrity of the processes, learning from the experience of what happened in previous elections. So if you want assurance from me, the simple assurance that we are committed to doing whatever we can to uphold the integrity of this process. Two people asked questions about PVCs. That there are some PVCs. Is it true that there are PVCs uncollected? Let me come out clean. There are PVCs uncollected. Even arising from the last exercise, there were PVCs that we had to print later in response to complaints by citizens. The total number of these PVCs is 1,835, and these PVCs have been delivered to Edo State. Now, earlier we delivered 184,438 PVCs. The 1,835 not delivered comes to 0.9%. So in other words, it's less than 1%. But democratic election is not about percentages and low figures. Democratic elections is about citizens and the right to vote during election. So this is the situation. We have suspended the collection of PVCs on Sunday. But part of why we would like to engage with stakeholders is for us to take a decision. Do you think the Commission should extend the period of collection of these PVCs for a few days, or we suspend it as we have already suspended it? The decision is up to the stakeholders. Whatever decision we arrive at this meeting will be implemented by the Commission, meaning that it's going to be open to all those who have not collected their PVCs to do so, not just the 1,865. I repeat what I've said. Democratic elections may not necessarily be about numbers and percentages. It's about citizens' right to vote. And our commitment is that we shouldn't in any way disenfranchise voters. So let me see by show of hands. Collection of PVCs ended on Sunday, the 8th of this month. No PVC is being collected anywhere in the state. We have new 1,865 from the 184,000. Is it your decision as stakeholders that INEC should provide a few days grace for the uncollected PVCs to be collected, or that we should shut the system down and no more? Let me see by show of hand rather than conducted meeting is for us to build a consensus in the interest of our democracy. So if it means extending for a few days, we will do so. At the end of which, we are going to publish the list of PVCs collected in Edo State by polling units. So for each polling unit, we will see the number of PVCs collected and the number of PVCs uncollected. So I've taken note of that decision. The chairman of the PDP, you raised 4 concerns: recruitment and training of SPOs. You said you have credible information that 30 names have been infused into the list, but you pleaded with the Commission to investigate. We will investigate. We know the number that we require for the purpose of the election in Edo State, and the number is not really high. It's 452. So we look into the allegation that we have made, and if it's meritorious, we'll address it. Number 2, you said the list should be scrutinized. It's related to the first question. But let me also say that we are going to scrutinize the list not just for the SPOs, but for all categories of ad hoc staff, all categories across the board. You talk about countersigning of result sheets, particularly the RA and local government collation result sheets. It has been part of our standard operating procedure, SPOs, SOPs for the purpose of the conduct of election. We'll look into that. As to who is going to sign is our trade secret, I will not tell you. But we are all going to be invited to the Central Bank of Nigeria when the materials arrive, so that together we'll inspect and see what we have brought from Abuja before we move the materials to locations for the election. Then finally, you talk about 1,000 PVCs in a particular local government. Again, this is an allegation you have made. We'll look into the allegation. It's an offense for anyone to be in possession of another person's PVC. But in any case, before our own eyes, we have taken measures. We have provided safeguards that no one is going to vote on the basis of identity theft. Even if you carry somebody's PVC, you will not carry the person's fingerprint on election day at the polling unit. And if you carry even if you attempt to do so, you will not carry the person's facial. Now we do a double-decker checking for accreditation of voters, using the fingerprint as well as the facial. So what are you talking about if you take another person's PVC? It simply wouldn't work. You wouldn't be accredited on election day. But I've taken note of what you have said in that regard. I have a friend who described himself as a leftist. Is leftist there? Yeah, we used to be leftists when we were younger. So I'm sure you are a comrade. So basically what you said is that can pictures of materials be taken on election day at the polling units? I've traveled a lot around the world observing elections. I don't know of any jurisdiction anywhere in the world where this kind of thing is allowed, because it compromises the essence of democratic election, the secrecy of the ballot. You are not even supposed to fill your own. So what is the voting process? But we have said this okay, let me answer you. We have consistently said that cameras are not allowed into the voting cubicle. So that's the only restriction actually. But people are free to carry their cameras around, but not into the cubicle, and not to print election materials, not to film election materials. Then you said, when are we going to commence what you call full electronic voting? Election is a process governed by law. The commission will do so once the law allows the commission to do electronic voting. Now it doesn't. So you know where to lodge your complaint for the enabling legislation that will permit the commission to do full electronic voting. Then there was a lady that referred to difficult terrain and the availability of election materials. That can I give assurance that we will not experience delays in some of the riverine and difficult terrains, locations with difficult terrains? Let me tell you that in our preparation for the election, we have taken into consideration all the variegated terrains in Edo State. And so we have engaged with the National Union of Road Transport Workers for road transportation, and even the Okada riders, where we have really difficult terrain that are not motorable. And for the riverine locations, we have an arrangement with the Marine Workers Union of Nigeria for boats to deploy to the riverine locations in Edo State. So be rest assured, we'll do whatever it takes to ensure that the polling stations open in time. And in the event, a likely event of polling units not opening on time, we'll give them the same number of hours that we give locations where polling units open on time. The voting commences at 8:30 and ends at 2:30, or until the last person on the queue has voted. And if for any reason we are not able to proceed with the election on that day, the law says that we should fix another day, the following day, actually 24 hours, to conduct the election in those locations. But I don't think this situation will arise based on the preparation that we are making. I will still be in Edo until Friday, simply because I want to engage with the National Union of Road Transport Workers and the National the Marine Workers Union of Nigeria, MAUN. So we are not leaving any stone unturned to ensure that every polling unit open on time.